Welcome to Playing the Field, a Bachelor podcast. I'm here alongside Gina Sirico. Neither one of us is Ryan Field because he's not here today. He's off celebrating his birthday. But nevertheless, there's been a lot of Bachelor Nation news all within the past 24 hours.
Yes. And it is like, for those of us who watch the show and for those of us who love covering it, it is an embarrassment of riches because we have Bachelor news, we have Golden Bachelorette news, and I'm quite frankly still just, reveling in the Sam elimination from the Bachelorette. So, but that's a whole other story for another time.
He has taken a lot of heat on social media, I will say. I feel like slightly bad, but I mean, he said some really terrible things, so maybe he's getting his just desserts right now. I don't know. I mean, there will be a lot that we have to see during the Men Tell All if we're lucky enough to hear everything he's got to say about it.
Well, I will be there, so hoping to hear from him, hoping to maybe talk to him, hoping he'll be there. But let's not talk about him right now. There's another person from Monday night's episode that we need to get into, and that is Grant, because he is our new Bachelor. I mean, that's amazing. We've been talking about it, Jenn. We've been talking about it for weeks about how we thought he could be a good Bachelor, and here we are.
I know. I'm so excited that I was right for once. I feel like I don't always have the best picker when it comes to like who it's going to be. Then I'm like, oh no, I always end up loving them anyway. I think the only one I didn't really love was Juan Pablo, but
Same.
He's the only one I think that I just didn't connect with, and yeah. But here we are. We've got Grant. I think he is great. I had him pegged, I hate to admit, at the very beginning of the season as possibly being a villain, and he's definitely not. He's sweet as could be. Let's hope he stays that way with these wonderful ladies that will embark on this journey.
Yeah, I said the same thing. It's one of those things where it's like, I think we're running off of first impressions. And, it was the same with Jeremy. First impressions, it was like with the, for Jeremy, the tossing of the keys and like here, what coming in on the car. Grant had that same kind of energy, but basically what it is confidence. These guys are a little bit older than like the normal 25-year-olds. And, with Grant, he just is very self-assured. And I think I've always liked that about him. And he just kind of knows what he wants. But also it was the way that he would interact with Jenn. He would tell her things that just were complimentary. He would make sure she was okay. It's all those little things that I really think made him a fan favorite and made people go, oh, wait a minute. He could be, a diamond in the rough, like a not diamond in the rough. He could just be a good guy in the midst of all these guys who were questionable. So, yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, Sam M couldn't express himself. We saw that time and time again. Grant had no problem expressing himself. And I think that's what you're looking for in a leading man. So I have high hopes that we'll have just such a wonderful season. I hope he finds love. He certainly seems deserving of it and willing to go through the process. He was all in on Jenn. So I hope that he's ready and can take that leap.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a tough act to follow because as we all know, Joey was a really a very much beloved Bachelor. People were calling him one of the best Bachelors ever. So he's got a tough act to follow as far as the show. But I think if he is just himself and he is, this man that I think we've all come to really just enjoy watching and learning and getting to know, I think we're all going to be pleasantly surprised. We've talked about this before. The last few Bachelors and Bachelorettes have been very serious about what they wanted. And all of them have stayed together. Joey and Kelsey, Charity and Dotun, Zach and Katie. These last three have been really, and we'll see soon about Jenn. But, those last three couples have been really solid. And so I'm hoping that we continue that trend because we've seen so many of these couples not work out. For so many different reasons. But I really do feel like the casting has gotten these people to a place where they all know, like, yes, we really want somebody to spend our lives with. And so hopefully we're going to see that in Grant's season.
If we're lucky enough to get to hear from him during Men Tell All and he comes out and Jesse gets to talk to him, what are you hoping to learn? about him that maybe we don't know now?
I just am, well, I mean, I'm really interested to know just more about him as a person. We learned a little bit about him and his dad and the family dynamic on Jenn's season. We learned a little bit. We know a little bit more. I want to see his personality a little bit more. I do feel like we got that, some of it, but I want to see more. I think that he could really be a lot of fun. Hopefully we won't see as many high flying, heights dates in his season, so that I'm not on the edge of my seat, because it is about me. But not really. But, I do think he's I want to know more about kind of like what's made him the man that he is today. We heard some of that, like I said, in during the one-on-one date with Jenn, where he was talking about his dad and, and all of that. And I do feel like, I think there's more to him than meets the eye. So it'll be fun to.
What's interesting is that we kind of had the same thing with Jenn a bit, where maybe we did learn a little bit more about her family because they did talk about her heritage early on. But with him, we haven't gotten to really meet his friends or family because he didn't make it to the hometowns. Yeah. So all of that stuff is, other than what he's told us, is still a mystery. So it'll be interesting to see more about him and what his life is like. I mean, even what his job is like. I wonder if we'll learn more about that, because it seems like he does pretty well for himself, but
it does. It does. And, he's a former pro basketball player. He's got a lot of different things that make him intriguing and interesting. And I think it's going to be really fun to watch. I think hopefully Bachelor Nation, I know Bachelor Nation, when we were, as I'm wont to do, I will, scroll Bachelor Nation, live tweets and live threads and all of that. And they thought that he could be a good bachelor. And I think we're going to get what we were all looking for here.
Yes. And I can almost hardly not wait to talk about this next topic, because I've been waiting for Joan's men to be announced forever. I feel forever anyway. And I don't think this list disappoints. We've got 24 men.
Yeah.
And among them, I mean, we could talk more about him. Kelsey's dad, Mark. I am over the moon that he is going to get a shot at love. And I really hope that he and Joan make a good connection.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think we all fell in love. All of Bachelor Nation fell in love with Mark Anderson when we saw him with Kelsey during Joey's season. Everyone thought he was just so kind. He had the loss of his wife, and, you just saw how that affected him, how it affected his relationship with Kelsey, how it brought them closer. And I do feel like he could really thrive here. Joan is lovely. I've talked to her a couple of times now, and she is just so lovely. And they could be a great fit. We'll see. I'm excited to see what his journey is like.
Where's Joan from again? Can you remind me?
Maryland.
So that's a bit of a hike to Louisiana. I wonder if distance will be a problem this season the way it was in Gary. It's because, when you have a lot of children, as Mark Anderson and Joan both do, she has 4, he has 5, I believe, right? So Kelsey's 5, I think. And that's a lot of possible grandchildren and just children in general that you want to keep those connections with. So I guess it'll depend on what their vision is for their golden years.
I think what it comes down to, what it comes down to is your willingness to not accommodate, but like just be willing to budge a little bit on, don't be so. It's hard when you're this age. Like, I know for me, it's hard for my age. I'm set in my ways, and they're not too much older than me. But yeah, like when you get to be a certain age and time, you are set in your ways, and this is what you want, and that's it. And sometimes even when you think, oh yeah, I'll definitely change. I'll definitely, be happy to move along. Maybe when it comes down to it, when push comes to shove, you're not. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I think that it'll depend on the guy for her as well. Will she be willing? Will he be willing? Will they meet in the middle? We'll see.
I mean, come on. let's just say 6 months here, 6 months there. We split the holidays down the middle. We make this work. Come on, Kelsey's dad.
I think we know who Jen's going to be rooting for the entire time, which, yeah, no, I get it. I think he's going to be fun to watch.
I'm excited for the villain.
No. Look, before we get into the guys, let's just talk about this. Let's go back to our interview with Jesse from Jesse Palmer, from last week or the week before. I don't know. Everything's kind of run together. It was last week. So Jesse said, personalities and the blend of personalities is going to be key here. And, when you get a bunch of older dudes together, some guys will get along, some guys won't. And Jesse wouldn't guarantee that, it was going to be like it was with the Golden Bachelor ladies, where they were like helping each other do each other's hair. And we may not see that this time. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the women, they were so gracious during that season to each other. There was a little bit of trouble, but it wasn't anything that big. So
really,
I think men tend to get very competitive, Let's see what happens here. I'm there for it. I think we can use a little bit of drama.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little bit. Remember when I spoke with the casting director, and she told, back several months ago when they were casting the show, and she was talking about how she wanted to make sure that she had the right guys for our Golden Bachelorette. And, I can say this. I did speak with Joan at one point, and I told her that, and she said she did a good job. So I feel like we could have a good group of guys. And so, I don't know. Look, from the looks of it, it seems like we do.
I've got them right here. I'm going through the list. I feel like, okay, if I had to pick a guy, I think I would go for maybe the ER doctor from Reno, Nevada guy.
Yeah?
He looks pretty handsome. He's got a nice smile. It's hard evaluating men my father's age. But there's plenty of age gaps out there.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark, he looks like a good contender, and he stands up against all these guys. They all are very handsome.
Yeah, they are. Like, it seems like a
honest.
Yeah, there's let's see, we've got Gary from Palm Desert, if we're gonna, go into California versus New York. And Gil seems interesting. He's an educator from Mission Viejo.
That's education.
Yeah, exactly. And then Jonathan is interesting, a shipping consultant from Iowa. In the video, he seemed to be a little interesting. So
even the rancher.
Yeah, here's the one that I'm gonna have my eye on for a little drama. And his name is Pascal. He is a salon owner from Chicago. And in the video, I don't know, I feel like he was interested in fashion. He was interested in, some different things. But I don't know, I feel like he might have the potential to be a little bit of a villain.
I'm into fashion and fast cars.
Just from this photo, I'm going to say he looks like a soap opera guy or something.
He does. He does have those striking good looks. Yeah,
I mean, if it doesn't work out, how about some General Hospital?
Right? We are right here.
We're Charles
right here.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Interesting. You've got
excited for this. I am so excited. And I think, having Mark on opens up the door to Kelsey and Joey visiting, of course.
Yeah, which would be really, like the Bachelor Nation loves a crossover. And I do feel like, maybe we'll see Kelsey at some point,
We have to. Wouldn't it be great if he made it to hometowns at least, and then it's like double hometown back and forth.
And then there's Joey and Kelsey there hanging out. Oh my God, it would be kind of amazing. I think there's going to be, from the little bit that Jesse told us about this, and just watching these guys and whether they meld together and whether they're as cohesive as the women. I just find it's going to be really, really interesting to see how well they play together, and also how much Joan will put up with, because if these guys are being rude and just annoying, which can sometimes happen, how much will she stand for? So we will see. The other guy I'm interested, I find him to be a little, did I tell you this? Did we talk about this? I don't remember. His name is Charles, and his nickname is
Charles.
Fox. I know there's a few Charles. So this guy, he just has like the sweetest face. Like he has a nice, calming look about him.
Do we know why his nickname is Chuck, not like Chuck?
No, I don't know.
I'm wondering. But he does a very kind face.
He does. Like he's got a nice smile. I mean, look, this is what we can all right now. This is what we can all, only know
a bad face, but if we're just guessing here. He looks smiley, like a nice guy.
Yeah, he reminds me of, the things that we liked about Gary, where like he seemed genuine and kind, and again had a nice smile. He could be interesting to keep an eye on. Yeah, there's Charles K. There are like 20 Charleses here. No,
only the Ashleys,
right?
Lawrence and the Ashleys,
and like last season the Sams.
Oh yes. Let's see. What was I thinking of here? I'm excited about the New York guys. I think we've got Christopher from West Babylon. That's Long Island.
And Strong Island, strong.
Exactly. And Thomas, New York.
Yeah. The retired videographer from Portland is interesting. William, or Bill, as he likes to be called. I think he'll be interesting. We'll see. I'm excited.
Do you think we see Gary stop by this season, or are they going to try to distance that situation a bit?
They might kind of let in the first episode we may see like a clip or so. I don't know whether he'll join.
Maybe how much of Joan's flashback, right?
Yeah,
really do that. And then I think it's primed for a Susan Kathy like advice sesh.
Oh, absolutely. There's no way. And even some of the other girls, maybe we'll see like Sandra pop up, Natasha,
like a whole like
a snoop over session with all Igor Sandra. Yeah.
Sleepover party. That was
yes
for her.
Going to bed early, I think there's so many opportunities for, some really sweet programming here, some really good TV. And, as well, obviously, the most important thing would be Joan finding love. I think there's an interesting group of guys here, and we're in for some fun.
If she does find love, do you think they wait a bit on the TV wedding this time?
My guess is yes. They probably will. Yeah, I do think so.
Give it 6 months.
Yeah, that was really rushed. That's really...
I get not wanting to waste time, but sometimes you need the time, just regardless of age, to get to know each other, right?
Work out all the kinks. Obviously these people are, living in different places and getting your groove in real life. I think that's the important thing. It's why I enjoy seeing updates from Zach and Katie, because they're just like so blissfully happy, and they're, in Texas and just living life. And Charity and Dotun as well. I think they're in their wedding planning eras right now. And they're so happy, and it's nice to see them working outside of the, Bachelor bubble. And that's going to be the fun part. I think Kelsey and Joey are still in that, doing press and, it's and just kind of being around and being in the literary.
They look like they're having a blast.
I am super jealous. A few months ago during the summer, Joey, Kelsey, Charity, Dotun, and Zach and Katie all went on a trip to Hawaii. And I was just like, I wish I was there. It looks really fun.
We're owned by Disney, and there is a Disney resort there.
Look, yeah, I don't think they were there though, but it was.
But they could have put us up there, and then we just covered it.
But I think they were just there. They were just there for fun. But it was just one of those things where it looked like so much fun, and I like the fact that they are so happy, and that's like, look, you and I have been watching the show for a long time, And all we want to, I know for me, all I want to see is like happy couples. I live vicariously through the happy couples here. So
I know some people love the drama. I'm not really like a drama person. I like a little smidge of it here and there, but I really want to see the love story. I want to see people fall in love. I want them to be happy. I want the best for them. That's why I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift and Trevor. It's like, you just want to see people be good people that seem like nice people, be happy at the end of the day and get what they want. You know, there's so much bad stuff in the world that why not have a guilty pleasure that, you know, has a nice, happy love story.
Exactly. I have not personally had my own happy love story, so I'm living vicariously through everybody else, and I'll just stay happily single for now.
Well, the golden ladies say, gotta keep trying and going to Marshall's and all that. No, Gina, he's still out there and he's looking for you.
It's possible. Well, I'm right here.
DM her, gentlemen, if you're listening.
Oh my God. Stop it right now.
Let's not. I told you I love a good love story. And if it happens, Gina, and if someone DMs you and you go on a date, we have to hear about it.
I'm not one to kiss and tell, thank you very much.
Well, you can tell me.
Which is also why I could never be on The Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Nobody observed their dates. You'll observe their dates. And
exactly. You'll never know when I'm in a relationship because I don't publicize it.
Oh, come on.
I know.
Vicariously.
I know.
I love love stories.
I do too. And I think that, look, this is why we are great colleagues. And it's so much fun to do this podcast because we love this part. Obviously, if Ryan was here, he'd be like, I like the good TV. We like the love stories.
I think he likes the love stories too, though.
That's true. He'll just never tell us.
He's great. He keeps his cards close to the vest there, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
Getting the guy's perspective. So I'm very interested to hear what he thinks of all of these developments when he gets back.
I can't wait. When Ryan gets back, I think he's back next week. So we will have plenty to talk about when he returns. And then next week is hometowns. So that's going to be a blast. I can't wait to see all of that.
Hometowns are my favorite. They're my favorite week. I look forward to it every season.
Yeah. I love the fact, look, from this point on, which we mentioned in our previous podcast, like it's all just one-on-one dates. So we really see how Jenn is bonding with each guy. And I think it's going to be, the hometowns are especially important. This is what we needed with Grant to see kind of like what was happening and like who he surrounds himself with and his family and what they're thinking of all of this. That's what we wanted. But we're going to get that from another thing. We're going to get that from Devin. We're going to get it from Jeremy. We're going to get it from Jonathan and Marcus. I think it's going to be her final four are pretty awesome guys. She's got a pretty solid group of guys, and the connection that she has with them is also pretty solid. So it's going to be interesting to see what's make or break for her.
I think I feel the most confident so far in Devin and Marcus.
Yeah.
But although Marcus sort of wavers on me a little bit because is he not ready? You know, what are we going to see there? Could he back out? No clue. But then there's Jonathan, who is a little bit friend-zoned, tiny bit, but they were making out in a hot tub. So, I mean, how friend-zoned could he be? And then Jeremy, who he is off to the races after that one-on-one date in Seattle. He did a great job there. They had such a great connection, a great evening date. They not only have the fun, silly side, but they had the serious talk about like real life stuff. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah. And then Devin, we see obviously they've had a connection from the very beginning. I mean, he was not afraid to really go for it, from the first group date. And he's never been afraid to kind of let his feelings be known. And, she has said he makes her feel special. And I think that's key. This is all about her love journey. And, she's got something there. She said her husband is in the room. So we will see. I'm excited. I'm excited for what's ahead. And then Men Tell All, I will be there. I will be.
I'm so jealous.
come out and visit, and you can join me.
Maybe next time, if I can work this out, I would love to go. And you can show me the ropes of the Men Tell All, because I know you've done it a bunch of times.
I have.
Oh,
I have. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, and getting to what?
It's a long day, right?
It's a really long day. You don't see everything, obviously, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. And it's a lot of fun to talk to them right after. I'm going to guess we're going to get to chat with Grant. I'll get to have another chat with Jenn. And I always love getting to talk to Jesse Palmer. And it'll be interesting to see which guys we get to talk to.
I don't know if they'll trot Sam M out, but I hope you get to talk to him.
Too. I hope. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a professional. I'll be good. I won't say anything mean, but
For real.
I'm gonna keep the main thing is basically what he's gonna do right there.
I'm dying.
It just is what it is. And yeah, I'll make sure that my energy isn't dull.
Are you gonna ask him? And you'd be like, was that too dull for you?
Yeah, maybe. Is that too dull? Like, I want to make sure that my energy isn't dull. So tell me what I need to do to make sure not.
Wow, how dare he? And also, circling back to thinking about TV weddings for a sec, it popped in my brain, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, wouldn't Jenn be the most beautiful bride?
Jenn is going to be a stunning bride. She's beautiful. She's just absolutely stunning. And I feel like, yeah, she will be the most beautiful bride. And the most important thing she will be wearing is the look of love. I think that she's going to be a beautiful bride, whenever that may be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I do think she should do a TV wedding.
Any other parting thoughts before we sign off here?
No, I feel like we just have a lot to look forward to, Bachelor Nation. We've got Grant, we've got Golden Bachelorette, and we've got, more recently, we've got Jenn's season and a lot of great stuff coming up with her. So really, really excited for what's coming up.
Me too. So as we say goodbye, please follow us, like us, subscribe to us so you get all the latest Playing the Field podcasts. For Ryan, who's not here, Gina out in California, I'm Jenn Matarese. Thank you so much for listening.